Here in San Francisco, it's an unseen thing, like unseen force that's taking over Frisco, I think. Everybody on hype, on Fetty, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's doing Fetty. It's the fad now.
How much do you think you need a month to survive well in San Francisco?
$5,000. But I'm a person that would categorize under high priority considering I have HIV.
Amid San Francisco's glittering multi-billion-dollar skyline, a quiet surge of tents has transformed the city's polished streets into a grim stage for survival. As the morning fog clears, San Francisco's iconic cable cars and towering tech skyscrapers rise above, casting a cold contrast to the fragile tents scattered beneath. Once hailed as a beacon of innovation, this city now stands at the epicenter of a human crisis driven by numbers, systems, and deep-rooted failures we're about to uncover. Current situation. According to the 2024 point-in-time count, San Francisco saw 8,323 people experiencing homelessness in just one night and over the course of the year. More than 20,000 individuals sought help through shelters, drop-in centers, or outreach programs. Over half, 52%, spent the night in makeshift encampments on sidewalks, in parks, or under freeway overpasses, even as the number of shelter beds grew to 3,969 since 2015. Areas like the Tenderloin, Soma, and the Mission have emerged as epicenters of visible encampments, with smaller gatherings scattered across dog parks, empty lots, and remnants of former industrial landscapes. Before we go any further, if you're finding value in this deep dive, give us a thumbs up, share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that challenge the way we see the world. As we explore this unfolding crisis in our upcoming travel documentary, it becomes evident that the statistics barely begin to reveal the depth of this human tragedy. The surge in homelessness has exceeded the city's capacity to provide adequate housing. Although shelter capacity expanded by over 64% in the past decade, the steady stream of newly unhoused individuals fueled by soaring rents and economic upheaval has shown no signs of slowing. Tents lining the sidewalks have become a routine sight for daily commuters, while encampment sweeps tend to relocate the issue rather than resolve it. What does it reveal about our values when millions are allocated to clearing encampments, yet so little is invested in preventing families from losing their homes? This rise in visible homelessness isn't unique to San Francisco. It mirrors nationwide patterns intensified by gentrification, stagnant incomes, and insufficient social support systems. Yet nowhere else is the gap between immense wealth and deep desperation more striking. Is this what happens when a city's success is defined by stock prices and real estate values, instead of the well-being of its people? Looking at these numbers brings a deeper issue into focus. What forces are pushing people into homelessness to begin with? Up next, we'll unpack the root causes. Causes. Leading the list is the overwhelming cost of housing, with median rents in San Francisco now topping $3,000 a month. Even households making up to $110,000 a year can be classified as low income and still struggle to afford a place to live. Soaring property values, driven by the tech boom, have pushed affordable housing to the margins, suffocated by high development costs and slow, cumbersome permitting processes. Inclusionary zoning laws have failed to match the growing need, leaving the city skyline dotted with luxury condos while critical workforce housing falls further behind. But can rising rents alone account for why families and seniors are ending up on the streets? Next comes gentrification combined with a severe housing shortage. Long-standing neighborhoods that once sheltered working-class residents have been reshaped into upscale enclaves. Longtime residents are pushed farther to the margins, often severing the community bonds that once provided crucial informal support. Major developments prioritize high-profit units aimed at investors, offering little motivation for developers to incorporate affordable housing. This mismatch between supply and demand is a key driver of homelessness in a city where vacancy rates are nearly non-existent. Worsening the housing crisis is a parallel public health emergency: untreated mental illness and substance use disorders. Many people living in encampments grapple with issues ranging from long-term depression to serious addiction. Disjointed services and under-resourced treatment centers make escaping life on the streets feel out of reach for many. Sweeps, the city's method of clearing encampments, displace individuals without linking them to stable housing or comprehensive support, reinforcing a cycle of trauma and instability. What's the point of tearing down a tent encampment if the root health challenges are left untreated? Ultimately, policy shortcomings and red tape have turned basic coping strategies into exhausting bureaucratic obstacles. In the end, failed policies and layers of bureaucracy have made even the simplest survival strategies feel like navigating an endless maze. Policies intended to coordinate street outreach have at times led to duplicated efforts and a lack of clear accountability, as public agencies compete for scarce funding and grants. Far too many residents slip through the cracks. As these forces converge, skyrocketing rents, gentrification, health crises, and bureaucratic delays, the human cost continues to climb. Each number reflects a person or family pushed to the edge, holding on for help that never quite arrives. Now that we've uncovered the root causes, it's time to look at how social safety nets and government initiatives are attempting to meet the crisis. Social security system. San Francisco's social safety net resembles a complex patchwork woven together by nonprofits, city agencies, and volunteers, yet fraying under the relentless strain of the city's homelessness crisis. At the heart of this system is the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, which directs state and federal funds to stop evictions before they occur. Both landlords and tenants can seek assistance for unpaid rent, security deposits, and overdue utility bills. In areas like Bayview and the Mission, community centers report that nearly 80% of their IRAP applicants avoid displacement altogether, highlighting the vital role of timely financial support. Yet the application process remains overwhelming, requiring proof of income, landlord participation, and navigating a maze of paperwork, often causing those most in need to miss the brief window for assistance. Built on top of IRAP is Home by the Bay 2023 to 2028, a 5-year strategic initiative that leverages data and community input to aim for a 25% reduction in street homelessness. It sets quarterly goals for launching non-congregate shelters, expanding housing voucher programs, and monitoring transitions into permanent housing. Each quarter, the mayor's office publishes a public scorecard detailing progress or the absence of it, allowing residents to hold officials accountable. In theory, such transparency is meant to foster trust. Yet some advocates contend it only exposes the divide between political promises and the harsh realities people face. How can human dignity be quantified on a spreadsheet? Working in tandem with these initiatives is the San Francisco Homeless Outreach Team, deploying multidisciplinary teams, including social workers, nurses, and peer counselors to the city's most persistent encampments every day of the week. These teams deliver on-site case management, connect individuals to healthcare services, and provide referrals for mental health and substance use treatment. On any morning, you might see a nurse giving flu shots beneath a freeway overpass, or a peer counselor distributing bus passes to help someone make it to their initial outpatient visit. Throughout this travel documentary's exploration of the city's hidden struggles, these outreach workers frequently serve as the sole, steady human contact for those living on society's edges. Yet despite these efforts, services remain fragmented. Medical care, legal aid for tenant disputes, and job training all function within separate bureaucracies, each with its own eligibility rules. Someone seeking assistance may have to visit multiple offices scattered across the city before finding the appropriate referral. By then, their motivation and hope may have already faded. Grassroots organizations have tried one-stop, pop-up clinics that consolidate services from primary healthcare to housing intake into mobile vans. These pilot initiatives have demonstrated encouraging levels of engagement, indicating that convenience might be the key element missing in an otherwise comprehensive system. Yet, can these scattered pilots expand effectively to assist thousands daily? For a travel documentary aiming to highlight human resilience, these safety nets serve as both vital lifelines and glaring fault lines. While IRAP keeps thousands from losing their homes, and SFHOD reaches out directly to those in need, Cracks in the system become apparent whenever data falls behind, funds run low, or coordination falters. Trust can fade just as swiftly as tints are cleared, and collaborations crumble when funding runs out. In a city renowned for innovation, the ongoing presence of encampments reveals that technology alone cannot fix profoundly human challenges. This web of social services provides crucial support, but can government policies genuinely keep up with the scale of the crisis? Up next, we'll explore the solutions put forward by city leaders. Measures taken by the government. Facing growing public demand, city officials have launched a range of focused programs to expand shelter availability and improve outreach efficiency. By summer 2025, San Francisco pledged to add 300 new interim beds specifically for individuals struggling with substance use disorders and mental health issues, increasing the total funded through voter-approved Proposition C to 1,500. These dedicated shelters provide more than just a bed and meals. They offer integrated counseling, medication management, and peer-led support groups, all in one place. According to the city's Department of Public Health, individuals enrolled in these programs are 40% less likely to return to unsheltered homelessness within a year, an encouraging sign of progress in ending the cycle of recurring displacement. Supporting the increase in beds is Directive 100 Days, a policy reform that unified outreach offices, defined responsibilities clearly, and set firm performance goals for dismantling long-standing encampments. In practice, this involved combining overlapping case management teams, standardizing data entry among agencies, and creating a weekly command center to monitor each team's progress toward clearing encampments and rehousing individuals. The directive requires teams to provide a minimum of 2 permanent housing referrals prior to any encampment sweep, with fines imposed for failure to comply. Critics warn that this directive may encourage rapid sweeps at the expense of ongoing support, while supporters argue that clear structure and accountability can save lives before situations worsen. Can these urgent measures truly make a meaningful impact on the crisis? Moreover, the city has adopted innovative shelter approaches aimed at minimizing dependence on sweeps that only relocate individuals without solving the problem. Temporary housing locations convert unused warehouses and former office spaces into short-term dormitories, featuring communal kitchens and individual storage lockers. Tiny home villages, groups of insulated micro-cabins, offer a measure of privacy and safety, along with comprehensive on-site support services. In Bayview, a model encampment offers a new approach. Residents gain access to life skills training, job support, and even earn stipends for helping keep the community clean. The proven success of these villages has led to increased funding, aiming to double their capacity by the end of 2025. While local initiatives continue, San Francisco's legal battle to reclaim $56 million in lost HUD funding has captured national headlines. The lawsuit contends that the sudden funding cuts breach legal obligations to seniors and people with disabilities, threatening to push nearly 2,000 households back into crisis. A favorable verdict would not only reinstate vital rental aid and emergency shelter funds, but also send a clear message to cities nationwide that federal safety nets can't be withdrawn arbitrarily. This legal move highlights the vulnerability of the homelessness support system when it's subject to the uncertainties of political change. It's a chapter our travel documentary lenses have struggled to fully portray, a city striving to create compassionate solutions while grappling with relentless policy hurdles. As these initiatives evolve, San Francisco's leaders face a pressing question: can steady progress outstrip the powerful forces pushing people into homelessness? With these efforts underway, the moment has come to explore bold solutions that could redefine what's possible for the city's future. Recommended solutions. When the cameras go dark, one question still lingers: what structural reforms are truly needed to end street homelessness in San Francisco once and for all? Advocates emphasize the need for a large-scale housing-first approach, prioritizing stable, affordable housing as the foundation before tackling other challenges. Picture 10,000 new deeply affordable homes, made possible by inclusionary zoning laws that compel developers to reserve a portion of units at below-market prices. Combined with faster permitting and waived fees for affordable builds, this strategy could reshape the housing landscape, making stable housing the norm, not the exception. What if we treated permanent housing as the starting point, not the end goal? Beyond simply increasing housing supply, every lease must come with built-in wraparound support services to ensure lasting stability. One proposed model integrates case managers and on-call social workers directly into housing sites, giving residents ongoing access to mental health services, addiction support, and job training right where they live. A pilot program in Oakland backed by public and private funding led to a 60% drop in emergency room visits among formerly homeless residents, pointing to significant savings for the healthcare system. Scaling the Oakland pilot to San Francisco could reduce hospitalizations and promote long-term stability if the funding can rise to meet the vision. Seamless data integration stands out as another critical pillar in the roadmap to lasting solutions. Currently, street outreach teams, shelter providers, and housing agencies often operate in silos, each maintaining their own disconnected databases. Merging these systems into a unified homelessness management information system would enable real-time tracking of service entry and exit, length of stays, and measurable outcomes. Improved data leads to sharper resource targeting, more transparent performance metrics, and the capacity to pinpoint and scale what actually works. Through the lens of this urban policy travel documentary, the quiet hero isn't behind the camera, it's the coder stitching together fragmented data into a cohesive, actionable system. Of course, no policy can succeed without public support. Expanding a RAP by doubling rental assistance limits and simplifying landlord incentives could stop homelessness before it begins. To win over property owners, the city might introduce tax incentives or liability protections that ease concerns and lower the barriers to participation. At the same time, volunteer groups and faith-based organizations can rally communities to embrace new neighbors, countering fears of crime or falling property values with grassroots outreach and education. When an apartment welcomes formerly unhoused families, the true challenge lies not in construction but in cultivating social connection and community trust. Crucially, financing these initiatives will demand innovation. San Francisco could allocate a share of its booming sales tax from tourism and tech payrolls into a dedicated housing opportunity fund. At the same time, philanthropic foundations and impact investors are poised to offer low-interest financing to help bring affordable housing projects to life. By combining public funds, private investment, and grassroots support, the city can back large-scale solutions without depending entirely on ballot initiatives that risk voter burnout. For a travel documentary aiming to illuminate and uplift, these proposals offer a powerful glimpse of what's achievable when moral urgency drives bold policy innovation. Ambitious as they are, these ideas are grounded in real-world results from peer cities and promising pilot programs laying out a practical path toward lasting transformation. Though these proposals lay out a compelling roadmap, their success ultimately rests on the strength of community support and sustained investment, bringing us to one last, vital reflection. San Francisco's homelessness crisis is neither destiny nor beyond repair. The evidence is clear. Every dollar invested in prevention and permanent housing translates into significant savings across emergency response, healthcare, and the justice system. Each tent removed without a clear plan for housing is a lost chance to disrupt the cycle of homelessness and hopelessness. And every individual who secures a stable home instead of a temporary bed stands as living proof that compassionate policy can triumph over systemic neglect. As viewers of this channel, we're not just observing a city in conflict, we're witnessing a turning point where leadership, collective will, and personal commitment can shift the balance toward dignity and hope. It falls to residents, advocates, and policymakers alike to push for proven solutions: rapid rehousing, integrated care, data-informed accountability, and bold investments in affordable housing at scale. We must reject the idea that homelessness is an inevitable side effect of urban progress and instead define true prosperity by how many people have a roof over their heads. Could San Francisco lead the way as America's first post-homelessness city? The blueprint is already in hand. The real test is whether we have the will to bring it to life. See you in the next episode.